More than one-fifth of dual-income families in Seoul have reported experiencing depression, according to surveys and analysis by the Seoul Institute.
서울연구원의 설문조사 및 분석 결과 서울 맞벌이 가정의 5분의 1 이상이 우울감을 경험한 적이 있는 것으로 나타났습니다.
So this study studied or surveyed 555 dual-income parents in Seoul, and they noticed that 23.6%, so about just under one-fourth or one-fifth, over one-fifth, a little under one-fourth, felt depressed. 20.8% felt insomnia, and 15.8% felt anxiety.
So this is mothers and fathers working with young children.
Exactly.
Okay.
With dual incomes in Seoul. So it's a very specific demographic here.
Right. 그러네요. 서울에서 거주하는 9살 미만의 어린 아이가 있는 맞벌이 부부 가정입니다. 자, 그런 가정에 대략 한 5분의 1, 구체적으로는 23% 정도가 우울감을 경험한다.
Yeah, and I do want to note that, of course, mental health is a very serious issue. And depression, if you look at it, is an actual medical sort of diagnosis. So I know we use the word depression, I feel depressed, sort of in our daily lives a lot, but there is an actual medical definition of the term, right?
그렇죠. 네. 그러니까 우울증이 있다라고까지 말할 수는 없어도 우울감을 느꼈다라는
Exactly.
얘기는 이제 하고 있는 거죠. 그만큼 힘들다. 이렇게 들립니다.
Yeah, and when child rearing responsibilities are included, working mothers, we see a slight divergence between mothers and fathers. Working mothers had about 1.4 hours a day of personal activity or rest, while fathers had a little more time to work, or excuse me, to rest or have personal activity time, 1.5 hours per day. So we're seeing that the mothers are still having to do a little more of the household child rearing and chores.
그렇군요. 이렇게 맞벌이 부부를 하고 있는 워킹 맘들은 하루에 한 1시간 조금 넘게, 1시간 반은 안 되는 정도의 휴식을 갖게 된다고 하고요. 그리고 워킹 데디들은 이거보다 조금 더, 그렇지만 엄청나게 많이는 아니지만 그래도 다 뭐 2시간은 안 되네요.
Yeah, you know, fathers, you better pick up your game, you know, because child rearing is really not always the mother's job, right? And you're not, quote unquote, helping your wife, right?
You're doing it.
They're your child, right?
Yeah,
so that's how I believe. But,
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I agree, 100%. Okay, 우울감을 경험하는 거 한번 영어로 표현해 보겠습니다. Experiencing depression.
Yeah, so when you experience depression here, you're undergoing it or you're enduring or suffering from it. And the actual definition of depression, if I may read, it says it's a mood disorder that's marked by varying degrees of sadness, despair, loneliness, and it's typically accompanied by inactivity, guilt, sort of loss of concentration, social withdrawal, sleep disturbances, and sometimes even suicidal tendencies.
그래요. 이 우울 문제를 겪고 있는 그런 맞벌이 부부들, 맞벌이 가정이 참 많다라는 얘기였는데요. 지금 이제 우울증이 뭔지 정의를 내려주셨고.
But if you feel depressed, it's just a state of feeling sad, you know, melancholy. You can use it in that casual way as well.
네, 그러니까 그냥 친구끼리 요즘에 나 우울해 이런 말을 하고 싶을 때는 I feel depressed. 이렇게 말하면 되고요. I have depression 그러면은 병리학적인 용어가 되기 때문에 나 우울증에 걸렸어가 돼서 조금 달라요.
You can even call it clinical depression or medical depression,
그렇죠.
major depression. I know mothers who have given birth suffer from postpartum depression sometimes too, right?
산후우울증을 postpartum depression이라고 합니다. 이렇게 진단을 받았을 때는 have 동사를 써서 I have depression, postpartum depression 이렇게 얘기하면 되고요. 아니면 experience 동사 여기 나왔죠. I'm experiencing depression.
Or I suffer from, you know, major depression.
그러네요. suffer도 정말 많이 씁니다. 질병과 함께 I am suffering from depression 이렇게 할 수 있는데 그냥 친구들이랑 같이 있을 때는 depression보다는 그냥 I'm depressed. 이렇게 I feel bad. I feel not bad, but you know, I feel very sad and I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, but you know, if a friend would say, I feel depressed, I think that could be sort of a warning or a yellow flag, a red flag, and you may want to see if you can provide some help for that friend.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, the next expression is analysis.
Yeah, an analysis is a detailed sort of examination of anything complex in order to try and understand its nature a little bit better. So it's like a study
Yeah.
where you are analyzing something.
네. 이제 복수 형태일 때는 뒤에 is가 아니라 es로 바뀌어서요. analyses 이렇게 발음이 되고 단수일 때는 is로 끝납니다. analysis
Yep.
이렇게요. 자, 분석이라는 단어였고 다시 읽어보겠습니다. More than one-fifth of dual-income families in Seoul have reported experiencing depression, according to surveys and analysis by the Seoul Institute. Let's move on to the next headline.
China has announced that its uncrewed craft has successfully landed on the far side of the moon in a mission that aims to collect precious rock and soil from this region for the first time in history.
중국의 무인 달 탐사선이 세계 최초로 달 뒷면의 암석 및 토양 채취를 위해 뒷면에 착륙하는 데 성공했다고 중국 당국이 발표했습니다.
Yeah, some exciting news from the space world.
Yeah,
This modern day space race is really heating up, Sue, because China yesterday, for the first time, sent its Chang'e 6 space probe to the far side of the moon. And the far
Right.
side of the moon, my understanding is that it's sort of this uncharted territory that's very hard to reach because of communications issues. Communications don't reach the other side of the moon. If you understand, we don't see the other side of the moon
Yeah,
because it's locked with the Earth's orbit, right?
That's right. So we only get to see one side of it, as you just said. And yet, for the first time, China has succeeded in sending a spacecraft to that other side.
Yeah.
And it's an uncrewed craft, which obviously means there's no people on
Yeah,
board.
we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how they do communicate because what China did was they sent another lunar orbit back in March. So that was up in space already. So it's kind of a communications tower that they sent
Yep,
up.
yep.
And so what this latest mission does is it's able to communicate through that and communicate back to Earth.
아하, 미리 이제 쏘아 올린 또 다른 위성을 통해서 달 뒷면에 도착한 이번 그 탐사선이 커뮤니케이션을 할 수 있게 되는군요.
Yeah.
네, 창어 6호입니다.
And the most important part of this mission is they want to sort of explore this southern pole of the moon
Right.
because it might have ice. And the existence of water or ice could mean the possibility of establishing a human base on the moon
right.
in the near future.
Yeah, who knows? We may be able to live there someday. 자, 그래요. 그래서 이제 달의 남쪽, 남극 쪽을 이제 탐사하면서 그쪽에 이제 얼음이 있을 경우 물이 있을 수도 있다라는 얘기니까 앞으로 그러면은 인간도 거기 가서 생존을 하고 거주를 할 수 있을까 하는 그런 문제들도 앞으로 이제는 연구를 더 하겠죠.
Yeah,
구체적으로.
you know, rock fans might remember that album by Pink Floyd. It was called The Far Side of the Moon,
yes,
which is a very famous album. But I'm
were-
dating myself
No,
there.
no.
Go all the way back.
But
to-
they were way ahead of their time.
They
weren't
were,
they?
you know. It's this sort of mysterious, sort of uncharted territory.
그러네요. 네, the far side of the moon 이거랑 이제 the other side of the moon이랑 비슷한 건데요. 달의 안 보이는 쪽이라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. The Dark Side of the Moon was that the song's title or the album's title?
The Far Side of the Moon. I
the
think
Far
it was
Side였나요?
Pink Floyd. If I'm wrong, please write in.
우리
But
작가님이
yes,
닥사이드랍니다. 네.
Far Side of the Moon.
아, 그래요?
Oh, The Dark Side of the Moon is the album.
아, 앨범은
Yes.
닥사이드고 노래는 파사이드예요?
Or maybe it might be The Dark Side. Maybe
모르겠네요.
I'm...
네, 어쨌든 다 같은
I
말이
stand corrected. It
같은
is the dark
말이에요.
side.
같은
Thank
말.
you. Yes.
네. The Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
All right. So they sent an uncrewed craft, and this is an interesting word for me.
Yeah, so a crew would be the person or the people that have duties on an aircraft, on a spacecraft. If you take a plane, you have the passengers and you have the crew. So if this mission was uncrewed, it means it's not carrying any people or performed by any people.
Yeah, exactly. And I said it was an interesting word for me because I remember in the past they used to
Yeah.
say unmanned.
Yes. So we're getting, politically correct
Yeah.
in that any gender could actually go up. So
그렇죠.
instead of unmanned, we're using uncrewed.
그렇습니다. 이 무인이라는 뜻의 uncrewed, 크루 멤버가 없다. 예전에는 인간을 뜻하는 man을 썼었어요. unmanned. 그렇지만 이게 남성이라는 의미도 있으니까 이제는 뭐 한쪽 성별만 뜻하는 단어들을 기왕이면 쓰지 말자라고 해서 uncrewed craft 이렇게 합니다. 자, 그 다음에 precious라는 표현이 나오는데요. precious rock.
Yeah, so if something's precious, it means it has great value or a high price. In this case, it'd be of great value. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, you could put a dollar amount to it, I suppose. But here, it probably means of great value. But it could also mean something of highly esteemed or cherished, like a precious friend.
Yes, absolutely. And you are a precious friend of our show.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
Precious는 귀중하다라는 뜻이 있고 그 Lord of the Rings에서는 그 반지가 굉장히 귀중하니까
precious.
네 그래서 명사처럼 my precious 이렇게 얘기를 했잖아요. 근데 또 실제로 아기를 보면서 너무 귀엽다 이런 말을 cute
Yeah.
대신에 she's so precious.
She's so precious.
He's so precious. 이렇게 많이 해요,
Yeah.
실제로.
It doesn't mean that it's of high value
그죠?
or price, right?
네, 그냥 너무 귀엽다 이런 의미도 있고요.
And I don't think we discussed craft real quick. A craft is usually a boat of small size, but we use it to describe aircraft, spacecrafts,
Yes.
etc. Hovercrafts.
그렇습니다. 여기서는 달 탐사선의 의미가 있지만 이게 배가 될 수도 있고 비행 물체가 될 수도 있고 아니면은 이제 바다 위를 이제 떠다니는 뭐 hovercraft가 될 수도 있고 이런 이제 그런 device 기기 뭐 탈 것들
Transportation
탈
modes.
것이에요.
Yeah.
네, 그런 것들을 무슨 craft라고 해요. 그래서 uncrewed craft라는 게 무인 달 탐사선의 의미를 가지고 있습니다. 자, precious rock는 보통 이제 귀중한 돌인데 때에 따라서는 보석이라는 의미도 될 수 있고요. 다시 한번 제가 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. China has announced that its uncrewed craft has successfully landed on the far side of the moon in a mission that aims to collect precious rock and soil from this region for the first time in history.
The Indian government has reported that a record temperature reading of 52.9 degrees Celsius for India's capital of New Delhi last week was wrong by 3 degrees, blaming a weather sensor error.
지난주 인도 수도 뉴델리의 낮 최고 기온 섭씨 52.9도의 기록이 기상 관측소 센서 오류로 3도 높게 잘못 측정된 것이라고 인도 정부가 정정했습니다. But even so,
Yeah.
it's still hot.
Yeah, I mean, what's a couple of degrees here
Right.
and there, right?
I mean, 49 degrees, 53 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know if you could
same
actually
thing,
sense it.
really. Yeah.
So, according to the Indian Meteorological Department, they measured a temperature reading in a densely packed corner of Delhi and found that there was this 3-degree error. So, originally, they had sensed it at 52.9 degrees.
Yeah.
The previous record still was broken. The previous record was 48.4 degrees back in May of 1998.
Wow.
But two other weather stations in the city recorded 49 degrees, 49.0, and 49.1. So these would still break the previous record.
It was the census fault.
Yeah. Apparently these sensors can't read over 50 degrees perhaps. They break down, much like humans.
그래요. 근데 이렇게 누구 탓이야,
Yeah.
센서 탓이야 이렇게 할 때 영어로는 blaming the sensor, or blaming someone이라고 하죠.
You place blame on someone or
Yeah.
you place responsibility or hold someone responsible.
That's right. 그래서 누군가를 탓할 때 쓰는 단어가 blame입니다. 근데 사람뿐만 아니라 이렇게 사물에 대해서도 무언가 여기에 원인이 있다, 이것 때문이다 이런 말을 할 때 많이 써요.
Yeah, it's basically the cause, right, of this calamity. We've been talking about climate change a lot here, but the effect here is that human life is also at risk. The latest reports I saw, up to 50 people dead in India, up from about 33 from these recent heat waves. So we're seeing that climate change is causing or
Yeah.
is to blame for these heat waves.
Absolutely. There was a sensor error. I think this is quite literal if we translate it into Korean. sensor 오류,
Yeah.
sensor error.
Right, a sensor, a device that responds to some sort of stimulus, and an error is a mistake or a blunder, a glitch, for example, for a mechanical device would be computers have glitches.
Yep, that's right. 자, 오류, error, E-R-R-O-R. 그리고 앞에 센서는 우리말도 똑같이 외래어로 쓰죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The Indian government has reported that a record temperature reading of 52.9 degrees Celsius for India's capital, New Delhi, last week was wrong by 3 degrees, blaming a weather sensor error. Now here's our next headline.
A book by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has been returned to Helsinki's Audi Central Library in Finland, 84 years past its due date.
핀란드 헬싱키의 오디 중앙도서관에서 영국 작가 아서 코난 도일의 책 한 권이 대출 기한을 넘긴 지 84년 만에 반납됐습니다.
Yeah.
It's a little bit late.
Did you go to libraries when you were young?
I
loved
did.
going to the library.
I loved going to
you know.
libraries.
And you remember if you check out a book or if you take out a book, they would literally write your name or
Yeah.
into on a card and you put it into the sleeve
That's
of the book, right?
Yeah, and they had like a date stamped on it, and you have to return it by a certain date.
Exactly. Apparently, whoever loaned this book out from the library didn't return it for over 8 decades, but it has been returned. And in surprisingly good condition. They said the binding of the book is intact and there's no major stains, so you could actually probably loan it out again. But we know Sir Arthur Conan Doyle of Sherlock Holmes fame. This book was borrowed back in 1939, so over 84 years. But I wonder what the fines. They did say they're not going to fine the returner, who remains anonymous. But I'm sure if the fines kept mounting up, who knows how much? Yeah, who knows how much it would be.
그러게 말입니다. 원래는 대출 만료일, 만기일 이게 이제 1939년 12월 26일이었대요. 근데 84년이 지난 이제서야 돌려줬다는 게 저는 더 놀랍기도 한데 그래도 컨디션도 굉장히 좋았다고 하고요. 책이 그렇게 막 해지거나 그러지도 않았다고 합니다. 참 다행이에요. 그래서 책을 다시 반납할 때 영어로는 굉장히 단순한 동사를 씁니다. 바로 뭐죠?
Return.
Return. 네, 이렇게만 하면 돼요.
Yeah, to bring or send or put back to its proper place. You know, if you go to a cafeteria, please return your trays to the tray collection area.
그렇죠. 네, 돌려주다를 뜻하는 return, 반납하다 할 때도 똑같이 씁니다. So this book was returned after 84 years. 그리고 그 만기일 있죠? 그거를 영어로는 due date.
Due date, the day in which something must be done or paid. A woman's due date is the expectant date of birth for their baby.
네, 그렇습니다. due date가 출산 예정일이라는 뜻도 있어요. 그래서 보통 이제 I'm pregnant라고 누가 이렇게 얘기를 하면은 Oh, congratulations. When's your due date? 이렇게 많이 물어보죠.
Or when are you due?
그래요. 맞아요.
Right?
When are you due? 네, 이렇게 또 물어봅니다. 언제 예정일이야? 언제 예정됐어? 이렇게 좀 줄여서 말할 수 있어요. When are you due? 근데 다시 책으로 돌아왔을 때는 만기일이나 마감일, due date. 마감 시간은 due
Deadline?
Deadline, 그러네요. due 안 쓰네요. So I was trying to think, what do you say?
You don't say due time.
맞아요,
right?
맞아요. 그 due time 하지 않습니다. Deadline이라고 하죠. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. A book by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle has been returned to Helsinki's Oodi Central Library in Finland 84 years past its due date. Now here's our final headline.
The 4 members of the legendary Swedish pop quartet ABBA have received one of the most prestigious knighthoods in Sweden from King Carl XVI Gustaf.
네, 스웨덴 출신의 전설적인 팝그룹 아바의 4멤버가 칼 구스타프 16세 스웨덴 국왕으로부터 자국 최고 수준의 기사자귀인 바사훈장을 받았습니다. Wow.
Mamma mia,
Mamma
right?
mia.
We go from Finland to Sweden, you know, and ABBA of, you know, pop fame is probably one of Sweden's most famous exports, I'd say, including furniture and meatballs. And you could probably put ABBA in there. But and I think they deserve it. They've been in the singing game now for decades. I think they debuted back in the 70s, perhaps. And did you know that their debut was from Eurovision?
Oh, the song contest.
The song contest.
Yeah.
That was where they came to fame. They were singing before that, but that was their where they gained fame with the song Waterloo was what they performed.
아, 그러네요. 이 아바가 유럽에서 굉장히 인기 있는 그 유럽 대륙의 노래 대회가 있어요. 그 유로비전이라고 하거든요. 나라별로 팀을 한 팀씩 출전시킵니다. 그래서 어떻게 보면은 그 팝계의 올림픽 같은 거예요.
Sure.
네, 그래서 어느 나라가 이번에 우승을 하느냐. 근데 거기서 배출되는 유명한 가수들이 많아요.
It's more like the Champions League because it's a European
아, 그렇고
competition,
올림픽은
right?
아니고 챔피언스
Right.
리그.
But, you know,
알았어요.
as far as a civilian, to be handed these knighthoods is a tremendous honor, right? And it's the first time in 5 decades that this Order of the Vasa was handed out to this quartet,
Right.
this group of 4 individuals.
And of course, ABBA, A-B-B-A, that's short for each of their first names. And you have those names, I believe.
I'm not going to try to pronounce them because they are...
I could try if you want.
Okay, you can try.
So it's Agneta, Bjorn, Benny, and Annifried.
Oh, I see what you did. You didn't say their last names. That's
Not
okay. You did half of them. But, you know, if you look at the word ABBA, you know, it's a palindrome.
Ah, yes, a palindrome.
Right? A palindrome
뒤집을
forward,
앞으로 해도 뒤로 해도 똑같은 거.
backwards. But it's also an anagram. Where if you look at it
anagram.
visually, where
yeah.
it's symmetrical. So if you fold it, if you look at their the actual how their logo is spelled or designed, I should say, it's also an anagram. So there's a little tidbit for you.
아, 그래요? 그 로고는 거울을 갖다 대도 똑같은가요?
Because it's
비춰도?
the stylized, the design, the first B is actually backwards.
아, 그래서.
If you look at so if you fold it in half, it would be the same.
맞다. 네, 중간에 B를 서로 맞댄 듯이 썼기 때문에 거울로 이렇게 비춰서 반사해도
Yeah.
아바. 네, 똑같이 그냥 아바가 되고요. 그 다음에 아까 palindrome이라고 하는 게 앞으로 읽어도 거꾸로 읽어도 똑같은 거,
Yeah.
우영우 이런 거 이런 게 이제 palindrome입니다. 회문이라고 하는 것 같아요. 우리말로는. 그래서 아바가 그렇죠. 참 우연찮게도 이게 두 커플의 알파벳 첫 글자가 다 이렇게 A, B, B, A가 됐습니다.
Yeah, basically they read forward the same forward and backward.
That's right. 자, they are a quartet. Let's look at this word.
A quartet. A quartet would be a group of 4. I think it dates back to music,
Yeah.
a musical composition of 4
Right.
instruments or voices, but basically a group or set of 4 as opposed to a solo, a duo, a trio, quartet, and we can go on. But
Yeah.
from there, it's not used as much. A quintet
Yeah.
would be a group of 5,
Yeah.
but also contrast with a duo and a duet. Because a duo is the people singing the song, a duet is the song itself. So a duo would sing a duet.
그러네요. 그러니까 4인조라는 쿼테트부터 먼저 보면은요. 아바는 4인조 그룹이죠. They are a quartet. 그런데 이제 4중주도 쿼테트거든요.
Yes.
근데 2명이서 연주하는 경우에 2인조는 듀오, 그리고 2중주는 듀엣. 이렇게 좀 달라집니다. 자, 그리고 prestigious award를 받게 됐어요.
You say prestigious. You can also say prestigious.
Yes.
It's when you have standing or estimation in the eyes of people, or just having a commanding position in people's minds. So of great esteem or prominence, you're renowned or reputable.
네. 명망이 있는 무언가. 그래서 여기서 Vasa Award 그 훈장을 받게 됐다고 했죠. 어워드가 아니라 order라는 단어를 쓰는 게 맞습니다. The Order of the Vasa. 이게 이제 바사 훈장인데요. 굉장히 명망이 있는 그런 훈장입니다. It's a prestigious or prestigious order. Well, here's the headline again. The 4 members of the legendary Swedish pop quartet ABBA have received one of the most prestigious knighthoods in Sweden from King Carl XVI Gustaf. And that's it for our headlines.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy has received presidential approval for an exploration drilling plan for a potentially massive oil and gas reserve buried off the southeast city of Pohang.
산업통상자원부가 포항 앞바다에 있을 것으로 추정되는 대규모 석유 및 가스 매장지 탐사 시추 계획에 대해 대통령 승인을 받았습니다. This could be big if it turns out to be there.
It could be, but again,
we don't know.
we're
Right.
not sure. So
Sure.
what they have to do is they have to do some exploratory drilling here. What we do know is that this potential site is off Yonggil Bay in Pohang. That's about 260 kilometers southeast of Seoul.
Right.
They're looking at maybe 14 billion barrels of oil and gas.
Wow.
If so, then that would be 29 years worth of gas for South Korea. That would meet the demands for 29 years and 4 years for oil. And what's interesting is they actually discovered the potential for this about a year ago. It was February last year. It's taken a little while, but now they're going to do this exploration drilling project. It's going to take something like 3 years or more. And we'll see what happens. Again, it's not confirmed, but this could be good news for those who need oil and gas.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all do. 자, 만약에 진짜 지금 해당 매장지라고 보여지는 곳에 석유와 가스가 있다 그러면은요. 가스 같은 경우에는 29년 동안이나 우리가 사용할 수 있을 정도의 양이 있을 것으로 추정이 되고 석유는 한 4년 정도 우리가 사용할 수 있는 그런 양이 되지 않을까 추정이 된다고 합니다. 그래서 이제 지금은 이렇게 연구가 된 것이고 추정이 된 것이고요. 실제로 Exploration Drilling Project라고 하는 탐사 시추 계획이 실시가 아직 되진 않았고요. 될 예정입니다. 그것에 대한 승인 절차가 있었습니다. 그래서 대통령 승인을 얻은 산업통상자원부 얘기를 우리가 지금 하고 있습니다. 자, 잠재적으로 상당한 그런 이제 자원을 가져다 줄 수 있는 곳이에요. 잠재적이라는 표현 보겠습니다. Potentially something.
Yeah, I could explain this to you.
Well, potentially you could.
Yeah, there's a possibility. In fact, there's a good possibility I could let you know what it means.
Are you not going to though? Is it
Oh,
just
no,
a
I will.
possibility?
What it means is, yes, it has potential. There is a possibility. It could happen. You know, for example, if you have a very good student in your class, they could potentially go to one of the best universities in Korea.
Yeah.
Meaning they might not, but if they keep studying hard and they do well at their exams and they do well at their interview, they could get in.
그렇죠. 잠재적으로 이러이러할 수 있겠다. 공부를 굉장히 열심히 하는 학생이 있어요. 이 학생 잠재적인 뭐 노벨상 수상자가 될 수 있겠는데.
Really?
이런 말을 하고
They
싶으면
must be amazing.
This student could potentially win a Nobel Prize.
In what?
Physics, chemistry, I don't know.
Get them working for the country, quick.
자, 잠재적으로 potentially. 그래서 여기서는 이제 potentially this could be a massive oil and gas reserve라고 했습니다. Oil and gas reserve라는 표현 볼게요.
Yeah, so because we're talking about natural resources here, it's not going to be petrol. It's not going to be the North American term gas, meaning petroleum.
No.
We're talking about natural gas here.
Yes.
So when we say oil and gas reserve, we're talking about crude oil and natural gas that is stored in this pocket, in this area. A reserve of something is something that's stored or kept aside, either naturally or deliberately by mankind.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 매장지라는 뜻의 reserve가 있고요. 앞에는 oil and gas. 그러니까 석유와 가스 매장지일 수도 있다. 근데 잠재적으로 아주 큰 규모의 그런 매장지가 있을 수도 있다. Potentially massive oil and gas reserve라고 표현했습니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy has received presidential approval for an exploration drilling plan for a potentially massive oil and gas reserve buried off the southeast city of Pohang. Here's our next headline.
Online shopping sales in the country jumped more than 10% in April compared to a year earlier, reaching an all-time high for the month, driven by rising sales of food items amid inflation.
고물가 속에 먹거리 판매가 증가하면서 지난 4월 국내 온라인 쇼핑 거래액이 작년 동월 대비 10% 넘게 늘어 같은 달 기준 역대 최대를 기록했습니다. Okay, let's talk about online shopping then.
I'm responsible for part of this in April. I spent too much on my card.
Yeah, I think so. I did as well.
We're looking on year-on-year increases. For April, it was 19.83 trillion won. That was up by 1.89 trillion won, or about 10.5% from a year earlier. The largest amount ever for any April. And it's basically because people are finding more bargains online.
Yeah.
It's food and beverages. That jumped 18% on year. There have been lots of promotional campaigns because I think retailers know that consumers are suffering and they want their custom. So when it came to agricultural, livestock and fisheries products, they were up by 26.2% on year. And people were using their smartphones, their tablets and other mobile devices more and more to buy online.
What's a bargain?
A bargain is something that is a very good price and cheaper than it would normally be. So when I went to the supermarket with my parents on a Saturday when I was growing up, my father would always be looking for bargains. What's on sale? What's
Oh.
cheaper than it is normally?
그래요. 할인된 금액의 물품을 bargain이라고 할 수 있습니다. 그래서 와, 이거 가격 너무 좋다라는 뜻으로도 This is a bargain.
What a bargain!
What a bargain. 이렇게 말합니다. 스펠링은 B-A-R-G-A-I-N 이렇게 쓰는데요. bargain이 아니고
Bargain.
bargain 이렇게 발음을 합니다. 그래서 이제 실제로 오프라인보다 온라인상에 할인된 물품들이 더 많다 보니 그래서 이제 bargain이 많은 거예요. 온라인상에. 그래서 그런지 온라인 쇼핑 거래액이 4월 기준 이제 1년마다 이렇게 그 전년 대비 같은 달 대비 얼마나 쇼핑을 많이 했는지 보고 있는 건데 이 4월 기준으로는 역대 최대를 기록했다고 합니다. Okay. First expression to look at here is compared to something.
Yes. A compared to B, meaning we're looking at the similarities or the differences. In this case, it's the amount of money spent. So there was more money spent this year than there was this time last year. So we can say more money compared to last year.
네, compared to something, 무엇과 비교하여. 특히 이런 데이터가 나올 때는요, 1년 전 대비, 전월 대비 이런 식으로 우리가 비교해서 말하죠. 영어로는 다양하게 표현할 수 있는데 그 중에 하나가 compared to last year, compared to the year prior. 여기서는 compared to a year earlier라고 하고 있죠.
Yes, but also in poetry, Sue. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Midsummer Night's Dream에 나오는 건가요?
No,
어디서
it's a
나오는
sonnet,
거죠?
one of Shakespeare's sonnets.
그렇군요. 셰익스피어까지만 맞았네요. 자, shall I compare thee to a
Summer's day.
summer's day? 그래요. 많이 들어본 것 같기도 하고. My literature has escaped
It's
me.
okay. It's all fun.
그래요. 그래서 비교한다는 의미가 되겠습니다. 자, 그리고 먹거리, 식품, food items.
Yeah, I mean food. That's what it is. But food items is the formal term you might hear in news broadcasts or written in newspapers. It basically means things you can eat, things you can buy to eat.
그래요. food item. 이 두 단어를 붙이게 되면은 식품, 먹거리가 됩니다. 물론 이게 하나의 단어가 아니라 따로따로이긴 하지만 하나의 표현이 되는 거죠. food items. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. Online shopping sales in the country jumped more than 10% in April compared to a year earlier, reaching an all-time high for the month, driven by rising sales of food items amid inflation.
Former Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum has won a landslide victory in the country's presidential election to become Mexico's first female head of state.
네, 멕시코 대선에서 전 멕시코 시티 시장 클라우디아 셰인바움 후보가 압도적인 승리를 거둬 멕시코 최초의 여성 대통령으로 당선됐습니다. 와우, tell us more.
Oh, it's the highest vote percentage in Mexico's democratic history, they think. It's set to become that. Looking at something like almost 60% of the vote she got. She was former mayor of Mexico City. She's also a climate scientist. And she's looking at, along with her party, a possible two-thirds supermajority in both houses of Congress. So it's a really, really big deal. It's a major step for Mexico because, well, it's not just Mexico, but also United States and Canada, North America, basically. She's the first woman to win a general election like this.
Wow.
And Mexico is known for its sort of macho culture. It's known for its traditional Catholicism. And so for a woman to become president is a really, really big deal. And it shows that Mexico is progressing, making changes. We'll see how she does.
Wow.
She still has to run the country. But my
Right.
goodness, what a victory.
Exactly. 자, 득표율이 지금 아직 정확하게 나오진 않았지만 58.3에서 60.7% 사이일 거라고 합니다. 압도적인 승리였어요. 그리고 이제 전 시장이기도 하지만 기후 관련 과학자 출신이군요. 와, 너무 멋있습니다. 자, landslide victory라는 표현 한번 볼게요.
It's a big win, Sue. It's getting a big majority of whatever vote it may be. Landslide, we think of in natural disaster terms, like this big influx of earth rolling down the hill, and that's all the votes coming in. Everybody's voting for this person.
네, 그렇습니다. landslide라는 단어 자체만 보면 산사태라는 뜻이지만 landslide victory라고 그러면 압도적인 승리라는 뜻이에요. 그래서 neck and neck race는 박빙 일 때 우리가 누가 이길지 모르겠다 하는 상황이라면 그게 아니라 뭐 엄청난 표차로 승리하는 거죠. Landslide victory. 자, 그렇게 승리를 했습니다. And she will be the first female head of state.
Yes, and the head of state is the leader of your country, which can get complicated sometimes. In Korea, it's the president. In Mexico, it's the president. In the US, it's the president. In the UK, it's the king. Even though the king doesn't have any political power, he is the head of state. And the prime minister is actually the real head of state. So it's the person who's leading the country.
그래요. 네, 국가 원수라는 뜻입니다. 나라에 따라 그 정치 제도가 다 다르니까 이게 대통령일 수도 있고 총리일 수도 있고 뭐 또 뭐가 있을 수
King
있죠?
or queen?
왕이나 여왕 그러네요. 네, 여러 가지.
Emperor?
그럴 수 있죠. 네, 네.
Paul?
네.
Could I be head of state one day?
자, 그래서 국가 원수라는 뜻의 거의 뭐 우리말 그대로 영어로도 head of state 이렇게 표현을 합니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Former Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum has won a landslide victory in the country's presidential election to become Mexico's first female head of state. And here's our next headline.
The Geneva International Motor Show, one of the world's longest-running auto shows, has been axed after 119 years due to ongoing industry challenges and competition.
오랜 역사를 자랑하는 제네바 국제 모터쇼가 계속되는 자동차 업계의 난관과 경쟁을 이유로 119년 만에 폐지됐습니다. Oh dear. But a lot of people say this was bound to happen.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is it's you know, the Geneva Motor Show is dead. Long live the Geneva Motor Show, because there is another one.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting circumstance. So this show, 119 years, a very long time, but due to the pandemic, it had a 4-year break. Of course, because nobody could move around. It came back this February, but they've said, you know, too many uncertainties, too much competition. We don't think we can go ahead with it. The good news is for motor fans is there's also the Geneva Qatar Motor Show.
Right.
And that was first held in Qatar in Doha in 2023, and it's going to be held again in November 2025. So even though the original may be gone, there is this new version in the Middle East that will continue.
그렇습니다. 제네바에서는 더 이상 제네바 국제 모터쇼를 찾을 수 없습니다. 그렇지만 이 전통을 이어가서 카타르에서는 치러질 거라고 해요. 그러니까 어쨌든 이제 제네바 국제 모터쇼는 끝났지만 이 전통을 쭉 이어갈 또 다른 나라와 도시가 있으니까 뭐 다행이긴 하네요.
And it should be saying Europe, there's also the Paris Motor Show and the Munich Motor Show. They have other motor shows around.
그렇습니다. This was the longest running European motor show.
Yes, means it's been going for the longest time. If you're the longest running anything, that means you've been, well, in your position of whatever it may be for more than anybody else. For example, Queen Elizabeth II was the longest running living monarch while she was still alive. You know, nobody else could compare to the number of years she'd been on the throne.
그렇죠. 가장 오래된이라는 뜻인데요. longest running이라고 합니다. 오래 지속됐다라는 뜻이고요. 어떤 역할, 그 지위를 지속했다 이렇게 볼 수도 있겠고 여기서는 대회가 지속됐다는 뜻이죠. But it's been axed.
Yes, and if you've been axed like a tree in the forest with a lumberjack, you've got the chop. Somebody's cut you down, you've been stopped. So we use this in broadcasting a lot. In radio and television, the term axed is used when a show is taken off the air. And that may be because it's run its course, or it may be there's been some scandal or controversy or whatever it may be. But often viewers are very disappointed. But also you can have a long-running event being axed. So it suggests something that is continuing, that is something regular, and then it is being stopped, it is being ended.
Exactly. Do you know the old Korean tale of the woodcutter who went into the forest and he lost his axe because he accidentally had it go into the pond?
He tried to cut a piece of wood and the axe head flew off
fell
into the pond.
Yes. And so then some magical being, yes, came out from the waters and said, I have a gold axe. Is this yours? I have a silver axe. Is this yours? And finally he said, no, they're not mine. And
So I'm going to have to stop you there, Sue. I'm axing your story.
You're axing my story. 자, axe는 도끼입니다, 원래. 그렇지만 이제 동사로 썼을 때는 폐지한다. 이런 느낌이 되겠습니다.
잠깐만. X는 토끼요?
네?
강충 토끼요?
깡충깡충 토끼가 왜 나오죠? 갑자기?
X. You said it was a 토끼.
도끼. 자, X를 어떻게 쓰냐면요. AXE 이렇게 씁니다.
Or AX if you're in the US.
맞아요. AX 이렇게 쓸 수도 있어요. 스펠링은 두 가지 다 가능합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The Geneva International Motor Show, one of the world's longest-running auto shows, has been axed after 119 years due to ongoing industry challenges and competition. Here's our final story.
Thousands of people have donated about $250,000 to a 90-year-old US Air Force veteran who has been financially supporting himself by pushing shopping carts at a grocery store in sweltering Louisiana.
90세 나이에도 폭염 속의 미국 루이지애나의 마트 주차장에서 카트를 정리하는 일로 생계를 꾸리던 한 퇴역 공군에게 수많은 사람들이 약 25만 달러, 우리 돈으로 3억 원이 넘는 금액을 모금해 전달했습니다. So now he has the option of retiring.
He does.
Finally.
Yeah, his name is Dylan McCormick, and he's not alone. There are lots of working Americans who reach retirement age and cannot afford to relax. Luckily, though, in New Orleans, there was a local television news anchor. She was retired, Karen Ronquillo. And she saw him and wrote about him online. And she basically found out that his living expenses were $2,500 a month.
Wow.
But his Social Security was just over $1,100, so nowhere near enough. And so, you know, at the age of 90, he was pushing carts at the grocery store. She started a campaign. They've raised $244,000 from 5,600 donors. So hopefully that means he can put the carts down.
Yeah.
He can sit up, put his feet up, and relax.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes to show that everything is more expensive with inflation. The cost of living has gone up, and yet the money that they have or are given is not enough. And so you have people like this. They're in their 90s, still pushing carts, working just to get by.
Yeah, but then you have 5,600 individuals who don't know this person from a bar of soap and yet are willing to donate.
That's an interesting expression. That means they're complete strangers.
Yeah, I'd learnt it from an Australian friend of mine. Never heard it until I came to Korea.
Yes. You don't know them from a bar of soap. 오, 완전히 남남이라는 뜻의 재밌는 표현이네요. 자, 그래서 얼마를 모았나요? $250,000.
Yes, $250,000 because a quarter is, well, 1/4.
Right. 이렇게 표현을 많이 합니다. 원어민들은 그 25라는 게 들어갈 때는 a quarter, 4분의 1이라는 표현을 넣어서요. A quarter of a million이니까 100만의 4분의 1. 이게 처음 들으면은 굉장히 복잡하게 들릴 수 있지만 늘 이렇게 말하니까 익숙해져요, 나중에는.
But you don't have to be rich to learn this because if you go to the United States and you have any coins in your pocket, there's a good chance you have a quarter, which is 25 cents.
Exactly. 자, sweltering heat, sweltering Louisiana.
Oh, Sue. We're almost here.
I don't like sweltering.
We're almost coming to the sweltering part of Korea's summer. It's when it's too hot. It's where you almost can't breathe. It's where you're sweating. It's like that tropical heat. It's that monsoon heat. It's that horrible heat. Please, can you buy me a ticket to Alaska?
자, 찌는 듯한 더위를 sweltering heat, sweltering summer weather 이렇게 말할 수도 있을 것 같은데요. 찌는 듯이 덥다. 이거를 sweltering이라고 합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Thousands of people have donated about $250,000 to a 90-year-old US Air Force veteran who's been financially supporting himself by pushing shopping carts at a grocery store in sweltering Louisiana. And that's it for the headlines.
The Bank of Korea has evaluated that despite a gradual slowdown in inflation being anticipated, considerable uncertainties persist due to geopolitical risks, domestic and international economic trends, and climate conditions.
한국은행은 앞으로 소비자 물가 상승률이 완만한 둔화 추세를 이어가겠으나 지정학적 리스크, 국내외 경기 흐름, 기상 여건 등에 의한 불확실성이 여전히 큰 상황이라고 평가했습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so I guess it's a bit of good news and a bit of bad. It sounds like prices may be able to stabilize a little bit because the BOK governor said that there is a slowing trend for inflation and it continued throughout May as both inflation and core inflation dropped from a month earlier. So the BOK said that last month's inflationary slowdown was, of course, due to a drop in the rising rate of agricultural, livestock, and fish fishery products amid expanded increases in the price of petroleum products and processed foods. So they also said that they did take into account a base effect from last month's electricity and gas price hikes. But they said that the forecast of the gradual inflationary slowdown will continue from a recent slowdown in rising global oil and agricultural prices. But they did say that we need to further monitor geopolitical risks, of course, the economic trends and climate conditions.
Yeah, exactly, because we never know what's going to affect
Yeah.
the prices. But overall, it does look like we're on a downward trend now, as you said earlier on.
Right.
자, 이렇게 인플레이션이 전반적으로는 둔화 추세로 이제 가고 있다. 이런 말을 inflation is now going in a gradual slowdown이라고 표현을 하고 있네요.
Right. So when we say gradual, it means that it's taking place or progressing slowly or by degrees. We could also say that it's a kind of it's decreasing slowly.
Yeah.
And a slowdown, of course, is an act of slowing down. So we're seeing a decline in the inflationary pressures, or it's another way to say that the prices will start to stabilize a bit.
Exactly. So it's going down bit by bit. Gradual, Gradual, 점차적인이란 뜻이에요. slowdown이 둔화가 되겠습니다. 한 단어고요. slowdown. 그래서 점점 완만한 그런 곡선으로 계속해서 둔화가 되고 있다. 그렇지만 여러 가지 요소들을 우리가 고려하지 않을 수는 없습니다. Many other things, uncertainties, 불확실성이 could persist.
So persist is another way to say that something continues to exist or is prolonged. So it means it's going on or lasting on and on.
Yeah, exactly. 계속되다 아니면 지속된다라는 뜻으로 persist라고 합니다. Persist고요. 지금은 이제 경제 얘기지만 우리가 어디 아플 때도 이런 표현을 쓸 수 있겠죠. The aches are just persisting.
The
the headaches,
yeah.
for example. 이렇게 표현할 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 헤드라인을 제가 읽어볼게요. The Bank of Korea has evaluated that despite a gradual slowdown in inflation being anticipated, considerable uncertainties persist due to geopolitical risks, domestic and international economic trends, and climate conditions. Now let's move on to the next headline.
A recent survey by the National Weather Agency has found that 9 out of 10 Koreans think the country is facing a climate crisis.
기상청이 실시한 최근 설문조사에 따르면 국민 10명 중 9명은 현재 대한민국이 기후 위기에 처했다고 생각하는 것으로 나타났습니다. That's almost all people.
Yeah. A great majority of people. So I think it's positive news in terms of the fact that we need to know in order to take action.
Sure.
So this survey was conducted by Korea's National Weather Agency, and it said that 89.9% of the 1,706 respondents said that they believe global warming is bringing their country to a crisis. And of course, it demonstrates this overwhelmingly united public view on this issue. And even more people, that was over 90%, 90.1%, said that they've already felt it. And it's already affecting their lives through the unusual weather patterns and a fall in the production of certain grains, among other changes. And more than 92% said that they think monitoring climate change is important.
Yeah.
And of those that were worried about climate change's impact, about 54% said that the most vulnerable area of concern was heat waves. And this was followed by heavy rains and floods and droughts.
Right. Of course, the weather is a clear indicator, and it's one of the things we cannot avoid. It's something we'll see and feel every single day of the year.
Yeah.
With summer just around the corner, it seems like a lot of people are definitely concerned about how hot it's going to get.
Yeah.
But then also the rains and the floods, as you mentioned, are big concerns as well.
Because we keep hearing, it's going to be the hottest summer this year, the hottest summer with lots of rains. And I'm getting a little worried
Right.
about this summer.
We heard that last year and the year before. So every year it's getting
Yeah.
hotter and hotter.
Yeah.
And the summers are longer as well. So we're getting very short springs and autumns, which is a shame. Let's have a look at our first expression, and that is the weather agency.
Right. The weather agency is basically where they, it's the meteorological agency. So they look at the weather conditions, they analyze it, and they, of course, let us know about it.
Absolutely. 자, 기상청을 weather agency라고 하는데요. 우리나라 기상청의 공식 명칭은 KMA, Korea Meteorological Administration이지만 이걸 그냥 통칭할 때 어느 나라든지 간에 the Korean Weather Agency, the American Weather Agency 이런 식으로 그 나라별로 기상청이 또 있으니까 그런 거를 이제 보통 명사로 설명할 때는 Weather Agency 하면 됩니다. 자, 그 다음에 지금 우리가 겪고 있는 거죠. 10명 중에 9명이나 지금 이렇게 대한민국이 겪고 있다고 생각하는 climate crisis.
Right. When we describe a crisis, it's some sort of immediate danger. So it's a situation that is characterized by the threat of highly dangerous or irreversible changes to the global climate.
Absolutely. 기후 위기, climate crisis라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A recent survey by the National Weather Agency has found that 9 out of 10 Koreans think the country is facing a climate crisis.
Authorities in the Philippines have ordered residents living near Canlaon volcano in the country's west to evacuate after an eruption sent a 5-kilometer plume of ash into the sky.
필리핀 서부 칸라온 화산이 분화해 화산재가 5km 높이까지 치솟자 당국이 화산 인근 지역 주민들에게 대피령을 내렸습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so the 6-minute explosive eruption occurred on Monday and it caused a strong earthquake and it prompted the suspension of work and schools in nearby Canlaon City where 3 airlines had to cancel 32 flights on Tuesday. And the government officials, they warned of the possibility of further eruptions, including hazardous ash fall and sulfuric odor. And they said that rivers downstream were at risk of flash floods, mud flows, and other hazards as well. So they're saying that they have raised the alert level, warning of further explosive eruptions. And we do know that the Philippines is located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, where volcanic activity and earthquakes are quite common. And Canlaon is one of the country's 24 active volcanoes and last erupted in December of 2017.
네, 이 칸라온 지역에 있는 화산이 활화산인데 지금 필리핀에 한 24개 정도의 활화산이 있다고 합니다. 그중 하나이고요. 마지막으로 분화했던 게 2017년이라고 하니까 지금 여러 해가 되기는 했는데 이번에도 역시 이렇게 분화를 했습니다. 자, 한번 볼게요. 첫 번째 표현, people have been told to evacuate.
Right. Evacuate, it's basically removing yourself from a place of danger and going to a safer place.
Yeah. 대피하는 거죠. 네, 그래서 evacuation 이 명사로 대피가 되겠고요. 동사가 여기 쓰였습니다. 대피해라. You must evacuate. 자, 그다음에 a 5-kilometer plume of ash was made because of this.
Right. So a plume of ash, you might have also heard of a plume of smoke or a plume of dust. It could be a plume of fire. So it's a large quantity of something. So in this case, ash that rises into the air in sort of a column shape. So here it went up 5 kilometers.
그렇습니다. 이렇게 그 불 내지는 지금 이 경우에는 화산이지만 그로 인해서 기둥이 만들어졌을 때 a plume of 뭐뭐뭐 이렇게 표현을 많이 해요. plume of ash라고 하고 있는데 이 화산재 기둥이 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Authorities in the Philippines have ordered residents living near Canlaon volcano in the country's west to evacuate after an eruption sent a 5-kilometer plume of ash into the sky. We're talking about flights being cancelled. Let's talk about our next story.
A nationwide strike in Nigeria has halted air travel and plunged the country into darkness after union workers stormed the national grid and shut down the power supply, according to local media.
나이지리아에서 총파업에 돌입한 노동자들이 국가 전력망을 손에 넣고 전력 공급을 중단시키면서 현지 공항이 마비되고 나이지리아 전역에 정전이 이어졌다고 현지 매체가 보도했습니다. Tell us more.
Right. So it sounds like tens of millions of people are without power and flights, of course, have been disrupted. And this comes as the Nigerian Labor Congress and the Trade Union Congress have initiated an indefinite strike. And the strike has also affected healthcare services as well. So the strike comes after failed negotiations with the government to raise the federal minimum wage. The unions are also protesting a recent hike in electricity tariffs as well. And the unions are demanding raising the minimum wage from the current 30,000 naira, which is about 30,800 won, to 494,000 naira, which is about 509,400 won, and this is per month. And the president or the presidential office, they've dismissed these demands as being unreasonable, and they had proposed earlier a 100% increase to 60,000 naira, which is about 61,000 won, which of course the union rejected, seeking a 1,547% increase instead.
I'm guessing this isn't per hour, but nonetheless, we are talking about
I think it's per month.
per month. It
Yes.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 자, 이제 그 최저임금 인상을 요구하고 있고요. 그다음에 이제 전기세가 너무 많이 올랐기 때문에 이것도 내려달라라는 그런 요구 사항들이 있는데 정부 측에서는 그렇게 할 수 없다 이런 입장이라고 합니다.
Yeah. And they're saying that, Nigeria is actually Africa's fourth largest economy, but their minimum wage, they say, it's much lower than the other countries that are, in a similar economic status as them.
그렇군요. 지금 이제 노동자들이 요구하는 바를 아까 말씀을 드린 거고요. 그 최저임금도 뭐 요금을 알려주셨는데 우리 돈으로 이제 환산을 하게 되면은 그 3만 원, 그러니까 한 달 기준이죠.
Yeah.
예, 한 달에 3만 원에서 50만 원으로 늘려달라. 예, 좀 상당히 이제 격차가 좀 있긴 합니다만
Yeah.
예, 너무나 낮으니까 그렇게 요구를 하고 있다고 합니다. 자, 그러면 표현 볼게요. The country has been plunged into darkness.
Right. When you're experiencing something suddenly, a bad situation, or it could be unhappiness, when you experience that suddenly, it says you can use the expression you've been plunged into something. So when we are, depressed, we could say that we've been kind of plunged into this sort of situation of unhappiness, or so it's usually used in a negative sense.
그러네요. 플런지 하면 저는 수영장 생각이 나는데 이렇게 풍덩 물 속에 들어가는 거거든요. 하지만 여기서는 암흑 속에 들어갔다.
Yeah.
Be plunged into darkness라고 했으니까 정전이 됐다라는 의미로 보시면 되겠습니다. 자, 그다음에 storm이라는 동사가 나왔어요.
Yeah, it's used as a verb, and it means to move angrily or forcefully in a specified direction.
급습한다라는 뜻입니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A nationwide strike in Nigeria has halted air travel and plunged the country into darkness after union workers stormed the national grid and shut down the power supply, according to local media. Here's our final headline.
As Chinese children face increasing pressure for academic and social success, a profession called child growth companions is burgeoning in metropolises across the country, paying as much as 60,000 yuan or 11 million won per month.
중국에서 자녀의 성적 그리고 사회적 성공에 대한 압박을 크게 느낀 부모가 늘면서 매월 최대 6만 위안, 우리 돈으로 약 1,100만 원의 급여를 받는 소위 아동 성장 동반자라는 직업이 대도시를 중심으로 급부상하고 있는 것으로 알려졌습니다. Tell us more about this.
This is interesting because the way that they describe the role of these child growth companions, it sounds like what a parent should do.
Right.
So these child growth companions, they say that they distinguish themselves from live-in maids or family tutors because they assist children in leading fulfilling lives and they instill correct values in them, which, like I said, shouldn't parents be doing
Right,
this?
but they do actually live in, they do stay with the family, right?
Yeah. And so besides tutoring children in academic subjects and helping with homework, these companions are expected to organize extracurricular activities, take them to after-school classes, and even help them prepare for events like talent shows and painting competitions. And like we mentioned, it's a very high-paying job. It pays as much as 60,000 yuan per month, which is approximately 8,300 US dollars. But this is for the very, very qualified ones, I think. And normally they say that they're usually paid between 10,000 and 20,000 yuan, which is approximately about 1,400 to 2,800 per month. And like I mentioned, these people, these companions, they are very highly qualified. So they usually have a bachelor's degree and they're said to have impressive resumes.
네. 그러니까 숙식이 제공이 되고요. 그 집에서 먹고 자고 하는 겁니다. 그렇지만 이제 제일 중요한 역할은 아이의 교육을 책임지는 거죠. 그래서 뭐 여러 과목들도 가르치지만 또 뿐만 아니라 아이가 아주 제대로 된
Yeah.
인간으로 자랄 수 있도록 여러 가지 지도를 해주고, 예, 그다음에 이제 고학력자일수록 받는 돈이 늘어난다고 하는데 이제 최대 6만 위안 한 1,100만 원. 그렇지만 평균적으로는 한 200만 원에서 300만 원 선이라고 합니다.
Yeah.
만 위안에서 2만 위안 정도니까.
It's kind of like, having a teacher live with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so it's, it's like
맞아요.
I don't know what the difference is actually between a family tutor and a child growth companion, but they're said to, these candidate requirements, they have to have some sort of background in education, and they should have other skills like knowing a foreign language.
Yeah.
They also need to know how to play a musical instrument so they can sort of give this well-rounded outside of school education for the children.
그렇군요. 뭐 전과목 플러스 이런 악기까지
Yeah.
가르쳐 줄 수 있으면 더 좋고, 그다음에 이제 학사는 기본인데 뭐 그 이상의 뭐 석사 이상의도 학력이 있으면 또 돈을 더 받을 수 있고. 이런 그 직종이라고 해야 되나요?
Yeah,
이런
I
직업이
guess a
이제
new type of job.
급부상하고 있어요. Okay, so families in China, they're facing pressure against, how to raise their children well. Facing pressure is our first expression.
Right. So when you are facing pressure, you could also say you're feeling pressure or you're under pressure as well. These are all very similar expressions. And it means you're in a difficult situation that makes you feel worried or unhappy.
네, facing pressure는 압박감을 느낀다라는 뜻입니다. Under pressure라는 그 퀸의 노래도 내가 뭔가 지금 부담이 느껴져 아니면 압박감이 느껴져 이런 느낌이 있죠. 자, burgeoning이라는 표현도 한번 볼까요?
Yeah, burgeoning. So it means beginning to grow or increase rapidly. So another word that we could use instead is flourishing.
그래요. 급성장한다 아니면 급부상한다 이런 느낌으로 이런 새로운 직업이 요즘 뜨고 있다 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. As Chinese children face increasing pressure for academic and social success, a profession called child growth companions is burgeoning in metropolises across the country, paying as much as 60,000 yuan or 11 million won per month. And that's it for the headlines.
Korea's economy grew at the fastest pace in over 2 years during the first quarter as recovery in exports continued and private spending remained firm, according to central bank data.
올해 1분기 한국 경제가 수출 호조와 민간 소비 회복 등에 힘입어 2년 3개월 만에 가장 높은 분기 성장률을 보였다고 한국은행이 집계했습니다. Tell us more.
Well, the country's real gross domestic product, which that takes into account inflation, it increased 1.3% in the first quarter of the year compared to the fourth quarter last year.
Right.
So we're talking about quarter over quarter growth.
Okay.
And this matched an earlier estimate from the Bank of Korea. So so that's quite good. The first quarter expansion compares with a 0.5% quarter-over-quarter expansion in Q4 of last year.
Okay.
So that is showing some growth, and it marks the highest quarterly growth rate since the fourth quarter in 2021 when it expanded 1.6.
자, 이제 비교 대상이 전 분기입니다. 그래서 영어로는 quarter over quarter 이렇게 표현을 했는데요. 우리가 만약에 전년 대비 이런 말을 하고 싶으면 year over year라고 하고요. 아니면 다달이 비교를 하는 거다. month over month 이렇게 표현할 수 있을 텐데 여기서는 이제 분기 지난 4분기에 비해서 이번에 1분기가 어땠는가 이거를 보고 있는 거죠. Alright, so that's the quarterly stats we're looking at here.
That's
Quarter
right.
over quarter.
Right, first quarter.
Yeah. The first expression to look at is the pace of something.
Pace,
What does
speed,
that mean?
how fast something is done.
Yeah, when you're running,
You're running.
you have to keep a certain pace.
Right, exactly. A lot of times there's a phrase you'll say to somebody if you want them to hurry up, Bali, you can say pick up the pace.
Pick up the pace, which means
Go
move faster.
Right, so you could say it like I remember if kids are being slow, teachers might say, pick up the pace. Go faster, catch up to the group. Or say you're working with people. You're working and you realize, okay, we got a lot of work to do and
Yeah.
it's almost 5 or 6 o'clock, whatever time you're finished. Hey, we got to pick up the pace if we want to finish on time. We're going to end up working late or we're not going to get the work finished.
그렇군요. 자, 페이스가 속도라는 뜻인데요. 서둘러라, 속도를 조금 더 빨리 해서 지금 뒤처지고 있는데 빨리 가자라는 말을 하고 싶으면 pick up the pace라고 할 수 있겠고요. 우리 달리기 할 때 옆에 페이스메이커가 있으면은 또 달리기 하는데 지치지 않고 계속 달릴 수가 있죠.
Isn't a pacemaker something goes in your heart?
Really? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought it was just for running, but
I think
maybe
a pacemaker is something that goes if you have heart problems, I think.
Oh,
isn't it?
okay. So maybe I,
thought
have
so.
that wrong.
I
I don't know.
thought so.
I thought it was someone who ran with you in a marathon or something. When you're
Maybe
Maybe
there's
it's
another
both?
word for it. Maybe it's both.
We're both learning things,
Yes.
something new. All right, so pace nonetheless means speed. And we're talking about how much growth there was in the real gross domestic product in the first quarter compared to the last quarter of last year. Now, what's private spending?
That's the money we spend. Consumers spend. So you might also call it. You'll hear consumption, private consumption, personal consumption, consumer expenditure, consumer consumption. These are all terms. It's when people, the citizens, spend money. And private spending actually in the first quarter increased 0.7%.
So would the opposite be public spending?
Yes.
Okay, so that's...
But that government spending.
government
Usually
spending,
when we look at a GDP
Yep.
formula, C is consumption and G is government spending.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm nerdy economic talk. Sorry.
경제 전문가다 보니까 이제 여러 가지 뭐 알고 계셔서 너무 좋아요.
So
We get to learn thanks to you.
Private spending was up 0.7%. Government spending, the other thing, the public spending, government spending, up 0.8%. So actually the government spending the increase
was bigger.
higher. Yes,
Interesting.
exactly. Another thing, construction investment also was up 3.3% in the first quarter.
와우. 자, private spending은 민간 소비, 개인 지출이 되겠고요. 아까 좀 대비되는 개념으로 정부 지출, government spending이라는 표현까지 같이 봤습니다. 자, 첫 번째 헤드라인 제가 다시 읽어볼게요. Korea's economy grew at the fastest pace in over 2 years during the first quarter as the recovery in exports continued and private spending remained firm, according to central bank data. Now here's our next headline.
Around 1 out of every 10 workers at small and mid-sized companies who changed jobs in 2022 landed new jobs at large conglomerates, according to Statistics Korea.
통계청에 따르면 재작년 중소기업 이직자 10명 중 1명 정도가 대기업으로 이직한 것으로 나타났습니다. What more do we know?
Well, around 82% of people, job-changing SME workers, so
Yeah.
SME, small and mid-sized enterprises, enterprises, another word for business, for companies. So about 82% of these people who changed jobs, they'd previously worked for SMEs, they found new positions at other small firms.
SMEs, yep.
Yes, other SMEs. So 82%, that's a lot. 12% moved on to large conglomerates.
그렇군요. Overall, we're looking at around 2,600 people working as of 2022. And of that, we're dissecting it and breaking it down, I believe.
Sorry? You mean 2.3 million?
Oh, sorry. Did I say two? Yes. So, I also just saw 2,000, not 2,000. Sorry, you're right. You're right.
Right. So 23.3 odd,
That's right.
about 23.5 million wage workers. So these are
This is
people
why
who.
I need you by my side,
That's
Ray.
what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
그래요. 2천이 아니라 2천만이라서 네, 숫자 확인해 주셔서 감사합니다.
And the weird stat was, so this is 2022 we're talking about as
Yeah.
well. So of this roughly 23 million workers in South Korea who receive regular wages, 34% of the people that year in 2022 moved to lower paying jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Maybe
Maybe
they
just-
wanted more time off.
You work for a different type of
Yeah.
company. Yeah, maybe
Work-life balance.
Yeah, maybe there was like more remote work, so it was a bit
Yeah.
less. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't give us the reasons.
Right.
But nonetheless, that is an interesting trend, I thought.
그렇군요. 이게 이제 2022년 일자리 이동 통계 결과예요. 통계청이 어제 발표한 내용입니다. 그래서 총 이제 취업 등록이 돼 있는 인구가 2,600만 명 정도였는데 이제 그 안에서 어떠한 일을 했는지를 세세하게 보고 있는 거고요. 영어로는 break it down이라고 얘기할 수 있겠습니다. 이제 특히 이제 중소기업에서 일을 하다가 그다음에 이직을 했는데 대기업으로 간 경우는 한 10% 정도였다고 하고요. 그 외에 10% 좀 넘었는데 한 80몇 %는 또 역시 이직을 했지만 중소기업으로 이직을 한 것으로 이렇게 나타났습니다. 첫 번째 표현을 좀 볼게요. People landed new jobs.
Got a new job, found a new job. And not even just, you were hired. If you land a job, you've been hired to do that job.
그렇죠. land a new job. 이 land가 동사입니다. 그래서 새로운 것을 얻게 된다라는 뜻이 있는데요. 새로운 직장을 구하다. Land a new job. And conglomerate.
It's a fun word to say, a little bit hard to say.
It is, yeah.
A little bit hard to say. So a conglomerate is a big company. Usually they're multinational companies. Not always, but usually they are. And it's a corporation that has several different businesses within it. And then the conglomerate, in a conglomerate, one company owns a controlling stake
Right.
in all these other companies, and sometimes these businesses are unrelated. Sometimes there are synergies between them,
Yeah.
and usually business is conducted separately and independently. Each company runs on their own, but the big corporation has a controlling stake
Yeah.
in all these different companies.
Exactly. 우리가 이제 흔히 말하는 대기업 영어로는 conglomerate라고 합니다. 자, 그러면 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Around 1 out of every 10 workers at small and mid-sized companies who changed jobs in 2022 landed new jobs at large conglomerates, according to Statistics Korea.
5 South Korean universities, including Seoul National University and KAIST, have been rated among the top 100 in the 2025 QS World University Rankings.
서울대와 카이스트 등 국내 5개 대학이 올해 영국의 QS 세계 대학 순위 100위권 안에 들었습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, QS, this name of this company is really hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
Quacquarelli Simons?
Yeah, I think
QS?
it's Quacquarelli Simmons or something.
Simmons, okay, yeah, I'm
but,
sure you
but
might
everyone
have
just
it.
says QC.
QS.
Sorry, QS.
QS. So this is their
yeah.
big World University Rankings for 2025. So let's have a look here. I got some of the stats. Seoul National University was the highest ranking Korean university, coming in at 31st, which is an increase. Last year it was ranked 41st, so it jumped up 10 spots.
Yeah.
KAIST was the second highest. It came in at 53rd. Last year was 56, so some improvement there. Yonsei jumped a few spots. Yonsei jumped from 76 to 56. 20 spot jump there for Yonsei. So that's quite impressive. Korea University jumped up quite a lot as well, from 79 to 67 was a big one there. Pohang University of Science and Technology, POSTECH,
Yep.
they call it.
Yep.
That came in at 98 as well, and it was slightly up from 100 last year.
Exactly.
So, and one of the other things that was really interesting, QS said Korean universities are one of Asia's best higher education systems. And they mentioned they have good employer reputations, and they're also well-known global research hubs.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, one of the things that hurt Korean university rankings, international faculty, and they said international student indicators. So the international student ratio in all Korean schools is much lower than in other countries. So Hanyang University had was the highest ranking Korean university for international students, and it only came in at 257th. In the world. So that's one area that they can definitely improve on.
Yeah.
Bringing more international students.
Yeah. If Korean universities go slightly more global, then we may go up the chart. But again, as you said, 5 schools made it in the top 100. If we look at the top 1,500, there are many more schools that made it into that list.
My school came in at 456th.
Oh, can I ask which school?
University of Guelph.
Okay.
But the thing is, I looked through the rankings, and like, unless a lot of things have changed, like more than half of the Canadian universities that were ranked above mine are not better. And not a single person in Canada thinks they're better.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the single most
so I had some big issues. I had some major issues with it.
Okay.
Like, would you rather go to school in Islamabad, Pakistan, or in Guelph, Ontario?
Okay.
I'm going to take Guelph,
all right.
Especially the ladies.
Let's have a look at the first expression, which is to be rated among something.
Among means within a group.
Yep.
Right? So how are you rated? How are you judged? How are you assessed?
And rated, of course, as you said, is to be listed, ranked.
And if you're rated, it's an assessment.
Yeah.
And then you take all the assessment, all the ratings, and then rank them in order.
네.
And we usually rank them in order from first to last.
네. Rated among, ranked among이라고 할 수도 있는데요. 뭐뭐 중 하나로 평가된다라는 뜻입니다. 그러니까 top 100 안에 들었다라는 뜻으로 5 South Korean universities rated among the top 100. And this is according to the QS World University Rankings. What's rankings?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned there, you have all your ratings and then you make a list. And that's what a ranking is. A ranking is a list in order of something. So in this case, it's their assessment of the quality of the university. But you can have different things. So if you look at a ranking of like a sports league, a table, that's a ranking. That's all it is. It's just a ranking to show which teams have the most points based on performance.
네, 그렇습니다. 순위, 우리도 랭킹이라고 하죠.
Classes, school. Some schools do that. They'll show rankings of all the students from a test.
자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. 5 South Korean universities, including Seoul National University and KAIST, have been rated among the top 100 in the 2025 QS World University Rankings. Now let's move on to the next headline.
The Seine is how I pronounce it, right? The
Yes.
Seine, okay. Some Parisians have taken to social media to protest the Seine's cleanliness ahead of next month's Olympic Games by defecating in the river as politicians pledge to swim in it.
네, 다음 달 파리 올림픽을 앞두고 센강 수질 입증을 위해 정치인들이 직접 수영할 것을 약속하자 일부 파리 시민들이 센강에서 볼일을 보겠다며 이에 항의하는 시위를 소셜 미디어에서 벌였습니다. So they don't believe that it's clean enough, right?
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
Or maybe
there's a
they
bit of
don't
that.
believe...
And also just... do you know? Okay, I'll give a bit of background here.
Yeah.
So, swimming in the Seine River has been illegal since 1923, okay? Because it's filthy.
Yeah.
And the lead up to these Olympics, the French government, they committed $1.5 billion to cleaning up this waterway so it could be used for swimming events. And also a lot of people think that's way too much money to spend on this.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, President Emmanuel Macron, he said he would swim in the river to prove it's safe. He didn't say when. And then
Anne Hidalgo.
Anne Hidalgo, the mayor of Paris, she said she'll also swim in it on June 23rd. So now because they're saying that they're going to swim in it, this is a whole thing that's come online. There's this hashtag which translates to I will poop in the Seine on June 23rd.
Right, but it's in French, of course.
It's in French, but and they're not using the word poop, they're using like a swear word
vulgar
kind
word.
of. Yes, exactly. And they're basically this one website that's, promoting this. They're saying like Macron and Hidalgo, they put us through a lot of
this not
crap
good thing
or whatever. Yes. They've made a lot of problems for us.
Yeah.
So now we are going to make them actually swim in our
I see.
waste.
Okay. 자, 파리올림픽이 얼마 남지 않았습니다. 이번에 예전에 볼 수 없었던 것을 많이 볼 수 있는 그런 올림픽이 될 거라고 해요. The opening ceremony is going to be held outside the Olympic venue for the first time ever. It's actually going to be held near the Seine, so that's going to be new. And the swimming competition, they hope, will be in the Seine. So, I mean, is this possible?
Yeah, there's all these tests that have been run, and some tests are saying, oh, it's satisfactory, but then other ones are saying, no, there's all kinds of other stuff. People can get sick.
So it's controversial
It's
still.
very controversial.
논란이
exactly.
되고 있군요. 자, 첫 번째 표현 보겠습니다. So people in Paris have taken to social media.
You might also hear taken to the streets. When
Yeah.
people protest, they take to the streets. They go somewhere to do something. In this case, on social media, you don't actually go to social media. You just pick up your phone and post on social media
네,
and give your opinion or
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Take to the streets라고 하면은 거리에 나서다. 그래서 역시 시위할 때 많이 쓰는 표현인데 소셜 미디어로 streets라는 단어를 대체했습니다. 그래서 소셜 미디어에 가서 여러 가지를 호소하고 있는 거죠. And this is ahead of the Olympics.
Prior to, before, when you hear ahead of something.
그렇습니다. 자, 뭐뭐 하기 전에 무엇을 앞두고 ahead of the Olympics. 다시 읽어볼게요. Some Parisians have taken to social media to protest the Seine's cleanliness ahead of next month's Olympic Games by defecating in the river as politicians pledge to swim in it. Here's our final headline.
After that, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science in the U.S. has confirmed that large bones found by a family during a hiking trip in North Dakota in 2022 belong to a 3,500-pound T-Rex.
미국 덴버 자연과학박물관은 2022년 그 노스다코타주에서 하이킹하던 한 가족이 발견한 큰 뼈가 실제로 1.5톤 무게의 티라노사우루스 공룡의 것임을 확인했습니다. Wow, great discovery.
Yeah, pretty incredible. It was discovered by two young brothers, their dad and their cousin, back in 2022. They were hiking in a mountain in North Dakota, and the father, he then contacted the curator of paleontology at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And lo and behold, they were correct. And the interesting thing that the paleontologist said is this discovery is so exciting because most times when they discover fossils of T-Rexes, they were adult dinosaurs. This one, they're saying this fossil is of an adolescent T-Rex, a smaller, younger T-Rex.
Wow.
Yes. So very, very interesting.
그렇죠.
And they've nicknamed it Teen Rex.
Because it's young.
Yes.
It's a juvenile
Right.
T-Rex. 그래요. 자, 2022년에 이 뼈를 발견한 그 미국 덴버의 한 가족입니다. 근데 이제서야 그 결과가 나왔는데요. 이게 티라노사우루스 렉스 공룡의 뼈가 맞다. 영어로는 그냥 줄여서 T-Rex라고 하는데요. 그것도 기존에 발견된 T-Rex 뼈보다 조금 더 어린 T-Rex의 뼈여서 정말 유의미하다. 이렇게 보고 있습니다. 별명을 붙이기를 Teen Rex. 어린 티네이저처럼 Teen Rex라고 이름을 이렇게 별명을 붙였네요. Okay, so the family were on a hiking trip.
Dungsan 여행.
Yes.
There's
exactly.
no other easy way to.
Perfect.
Thank you. We're running out of time,
그겁니다.
so I'll
네.
keep it short and sweet.
And belong to.
Be a part of something.
Yeah.
Be a
그렇죠.
part. So you could belong to a club, you belong to a school, you belong to a company.
그렇죠.
Something you're a member of.
네. 바로
Or also
이제,
you can say something belongs to someone. That's another
Yeah.
variation.
In a relationship, you mean? Or...
No, a thing. Like, who does this belong to?
Oh.
Whose item is this?
Exactly. This chicken belongs to EBS.
Right.
이렇게 누구의 것이다. 이렇게 말하죠. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The Denver Museum of Nature and Science in the U.S. has confirmed that large bones found by a family during a hiking trip in North Dakota in 2022 belong to a 3,500-pound T-Rex. And that's it for the headlines.